See, I want to talk about some historical projects in Sacramento history. We have three projects. Well, two, because we had those Rios and off of Richards Boulevard, and they demolished them about like 2 years ago. But Dos Rios, Seavey Circle, and New Helvetia was built in the 1950s and the 1940s. And they was constructed to serve like the military. And that was the military families from the McClellan Air Force Base. And at that time, like it wasn't like that many black people like able to have units in them apartments. I believe it was like 16. And like that just goes to show like what type of bullshit Sacramento was on. Cause I know it was more black people in them at that military base than 16 than only to be able to serve 16 units of for African Americans. But over time, like any other projects, like like damn near through America, United States, like it all became full of black people. Like it was about 70-80% of black people. Like up until this time now, it's probably like 90%. Cause CV Circle is still there in New Helvetia, but they changed the name to CV Circle to Alder Grove, and they changed the name of CV Circle to Marina Vista, but we still call them CV Circle and New Helvetia, aka the Jets for CV Circle and aka the Bricks for New Helvetia. And they all ran by the RHA, which is the Redevelopment Housing Authority. And like we used to be over there. Like that was my stomping grounds like about like 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, damn near up until the point in 2013 when I got locked up. But my niggas, we used to be over there deep. Like we really loved that. It was like my second hood, cause like it was smack dead. Like it's off of Fifth Street. CV Circle is off of Fifth Street and Broadway, and New Helvetia is off of Mirway and Broadway. Like they're literally like back to back. Like you got to go through the little upper class, middle class houses just to get to each of the projects. But it was only one store in Mirway, and we used to walk down the side streets and go to Mirway, and we used to always have to fucking duck these police that was like just riding around, just fucking with niggas for nothing. So we used to run up out of there and go to the store, and all type of shit like that, ride a bike and all kind of shit, just trying to get to the store and back without getting stopped by the police, because they were trying to say it was private property and all that shit. But it used to be so much fun in them projects, because like it's full of just a lot of people, females, hella badass kids, and at the time we was badass kids and that motherfucker teenagers and growing into young adults, and just hella people like then lived in there. Like it had been us, Jack Boys, my niggas. And it done been groups of P niggas, because the old park is like literally about 10 minutes down the street from there. No more than 10, 12 minutes. And we used to have to walk to the light road, because there's a street called Vallejo all the way down that street and walk all the way. And that's where McClatchy is, the high school. And a lot of kids that lived there went to McClatchy and Cal Middle School, because Cal is right down that street on Vallejo. You could literally run right into it. And it was just fun, just like lit. Going from New Helvetia to CV Circle. And it's some Nortes up in CV Circle, because for Fifth Street, they call Cinco. Cinco boys, I think. But they got some rappers too. Like I'm gonna post a link in the description. They hard. And like it's a lot of Mexicans in there too. Like the Fifth Street, North Dales, that's in there. And like New Helvetia, we used to be more in CV Circle, but like my brother used to have, his girl used to stay in New Helvetia, and we used to be in there too. I don't know if it's like Northe's over there, but they probably go back and forth, the Cinco boys and shit like that. But like those Rios, like they demolished that. They finna rebuild that like on some gentrification type shit. Cause they built new new condos and shit right next to CB Circle. Like so, and they was trying to like demolition and shit, and like people start coming out because it's a historic landmark. Like people start coming out and petitioning that shit. So it's like a hold off on that shit. But like I know like by off of Mirway, right across the street from New Ibiza, it's a cemetery. It's a big cemetery, like historical, like the people that passed away since like the 1800s and shit like that. It's most of our like cemeteries, like headstones is like in the ground, but them is like standing up. Like they got like buildings, like a building, like with like I ain't never been in there, so it's like an old school. It's a hell of an old school. Could be like in a scary movie or some shit. But I just wanted to like shed light on that, like, cause in like those Rios used to be grimy, like RP my nigga Take Money, like he died in there. You feel me? Just violently and shit. But it's a lot of shit that happened in Dos Rios because it's like close to downtown in the north. So it used to be my niggas in there and like other niggas, just different groups of niggas in there. Like, and it was grind like money over there because it's downtown. That's why they demolition Dos Rios, like strictly for that area. Because so them white people could ride bikes and shit to work to be closer to downtown. Because it's downtown, to be closer to the work sites and all that type of shit. So that's the same thing they trying to do with like CV Circle and all that shit. But at this point, they ain't having that shit. But that shit been there like 70 years. 70 plus years. So that's like historical. Like it's not really black gangs in there. Like black gang members live there, but it's not gangs named after CV Circle and New Ibiza and all that shit. So it's not hella light shined on them projects, but it served a lot of black families well. Like that came up out of them that lived there and grew through. I think my grandma stayed in them projects before when they was young and when she was younger and my dad and them was young and all that shit. But I have family that definitely stayed in there. But it served Sacramento, a lot of families well that actually came up out of that and used that. Because some motherfuckers rent be like $10, $20, $30. Like, that's what I know now. I don't know what it was back then. But it's people that came out of that and now live a better life. Like, and sometimes because of it. But you can like Google mapping and all that shit. But that's like historical projects. Real brick buildings, like, and yeah, they're historic.